What is up, guys? It's your boy Ben Bomb 12 here, back with another NFL video. Today here we have probably the biggest video, or the longest video I had to work on. I worked on this during like all school today. I expect this to be like a pretty long video, maybe like 20-30 minutes. You know, I'm gonna try and get through this as fast as possible. But today we are predicting every single team's the rest of their schedule and the seed that I think they're going to be in the playoffs. So I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll get into it here. We're going in alphabetical order, starting with the Cardinals and ending with whatever team is last in the alphabet. So starting off here with the Arizona Cardinals with their last 5 games. As you can see, right here is where it should be. Don't look on the right if you don't want spoilers for the division, but I'm guessing you already did and saw that the Niners are the #1 team, Seahawks #2, Rams 3, and Cardinals are #4. So I have the Cardinals going 1-4 for the rest of their last 5 games. They lose to the Rams, lose to the Steelers. They get an upset win, I guess you can say. Yeah, it probably will be an upset because yeah, they're in Cleveland. So an upset win against the Browns. But they will lose to the Seahawks and Rams. You know, just the teams that are better than them are like most likely going to beat them. So they're going to end off with a record of 4-11-1. They should get a decent draft pick, not the #1 pick. I think that's going to the Bengals, as you all see here in a minute. But I think the Cardinals will get a top 5-ish pick. That's all I have to say. They're not making the playoffs. I guess I got to say that too. They have a 0% chance. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons, I don't have them going to the playoffs either, but I have them almost winning out. In their next 6 games, I have them going 5-1. So I have them beating the Bucks next week, Saints the week after, upset win because, you know, I don't even know, but I don't know. It's just what I feel, you know what I'm saying? And then I have them beating the Panthers again. I have them beating the Niners. Oh, yeah, because they play the Saints in Georgia, and they just beat them in New Orleans, so that's why I think that. Also, I have them beating the Jags and the Bucks to finish off the season. Too bad they had a rusty start to the season. I have them finishing second in the division at 8-8, but in a tough NFC, that's not nearly enough, as y'all see here soon, to make the playoffs. And moving on to our third team, we have the Baltimore Ravens. With them here, I have them making the playoffs pretty easily. I have them making a bye week. Yes, I have them as the #2 seed, as y'all see here coming up. I have them winning off the rest of the schedule. None of these teams are close to as good as them. They have the Rams. It is in LA, but the Rams barely beat the Bears, and the Bears are garbage. Ravens offense is like 400 times better than the Bears offense. So I think that should be it should be a pretty good matchup, but I think the Ravens will pull it off. I think they'll upset the 49ers too. The Baltimore is at home versus the 49ers. That's the main factor, I think, in that one. So the 49ers are going to have a rough rest of the schedule, as y'all see here soon. And then I have them beating the Bills too. They face a bunch of like good teams, but not as good as the Ravens, you know. And then next they have the Jets, pretty much a bye week. Browns, pretty much a bye week. Steelers, maybe they'll put up a fight, but I think they'll win because they're in Baltimore again. I have them finishing top of their division at 14-2 and getting the #2 seed, only behind one team. Not that the team above them who gets the 1 seed is better. It's just that they have the better record. I don't think they'll lose it. So moving on here, we have the Buffalo Bills. I have them not making the playoffs at 9-7. I have them winning 2 of their next 6 games. I have them beating the Broncos here at home, but they have to travel to Dallas. Dallas is fighting for their lives. They're definitely not beating the Ravens in, actually, no, the Bills are home for that one, but I don't have them winning anyway. Also, we have the Steelers. It's pretty much a coin toss, but I give the advantage to the home team, so I have the Steelers winning this one. We also have the Patriots as well. They're not going to beat the Patriots. They're away. And I do have them beating the Jets, but it's not enough to make the playoffs. Just getting snubbed out at 9-7, but maybe next year. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers here, I have them losing. I have them going 1-5 the rest of the way. They have a super tough schedule. Pretty much what's going to happen, they're going to go to New Orleans. They're going to lose. But then they're going to get a pretty easy win. They're home against the Redskins. They travel to the Falcons, who the Falcons literally just smacked them 29-3. And they were in Carolina, so it's not going to... They're actually going to have a worse chance to win. And then they play the Seahawks. Maybe they have a chance, but Seahawks easily have the advantage. Also, we have the Colts here. Kind of another coin flip game. Both teams kind of just like good and bad, you know, but Colts are at home, so I'll give it to them. And they play the Saints again, so yeah, they're not making the playoffs, finishing off the season 6-10. Maybe bringing back Cam Newton here after the season. Not going to trade him away, but who knows exactly. Bears, I don't have them making the playoffs. Have them going 1-5 the rest of the way. Bears, I have them beating the Giants at home next week. Only their last win of the season, I'm calling it. Then they go to Detroit to play the Lions. Another coin flip game, like I said. Always take the home team in those. So I picked the Lions. Then they play the Cowboys, who are fighting for their division. Very closely contested with the Eagles. And then they travel to Green Bay, which, yeah. Even if I wasn't a Packers fan, I'd have them winning. And then they have the Chiefs, too. Chiefs have Pat Mahomes back. Yeah, shouldn't really be a contest. And then they travel to Minnesota, and the Vikings have not lost at home yet. So, if that indicates anything. Also, next game here, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals here are making the playoffs. No, I'm just kidding. They're not making the playoffs. They're going 0-16, I say. There's a chance. There's a chance, okay? You know what I'm saying? A sliver of hope that they win a game or two. But they are home against the Steelers. That's not going to be a win. This game, though, might be a win. Home against the Jets, but the Jets, like, blew out the Redskins. So, I don't know. But the Redskins aren't good either. It's just a coin flip, and I don't know. I'm not taking the home team, though. And then we got the Browns here. Browns are better. Not beating the Patriots. Dolphins, like I said, there's a sliver. There's a sliver of a chance, but they're in Miami. And then they play the Browns, which the Browns are trying to play for a playoff spot. I have them finishing last in the division, 0-16, and with the #1 pick all by themselves. They should be pretty excited about that. Moving on to the next game, we have the Cleveland Browns. I do not have them making the playoffs. Their comeback efforts fall short, going 3-3 for the rest of the season. They'll beat the Dolphins at home. Lose to the Steelers on the road. I think the Steelers will get revenge. Rudolph is gonna be probably gonna go off, hopefully. I mean, I don't know, dude. And then we got the Browns here facing off against the Bengals. I think the Browns will beat the Bengals. Like I said, they're going 0-16. Next off, we have the Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals will win it just because it's in Arizona. Ravens, pretty easy decision here. And I think the Browns will beat the Bengals when they play them again in Week 17, even though it's in Cincy. And Cincy will claim the 1 seed. And, yeah, I have them as a 3 seed and not making the playoffs at 7-9. So, moving on here, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. This is what I was talking about when someone gets snubbed from the playoffs in this tightly contested NFC. The Dallas Cowboys are 10-6 down here, and as you can see, I don't have them making the playoffs at 10-6, which is crazy. So, next week, I don't have them beating the Patriots because it's in New England, and New England is a really good team. But I do have them beating the Bills, have them beating the Bears, the Rams. Should be good games. Could either go either way on 2 of the 3. I have the Eagles beating them, which is very, very key. I only say this because it's in Philadelphia. I know they got whooped last time they played, but I think the Eagles will make a comeback and barely make the playoffs over them. And then it's the Cowboys, Redskins. Cowboys should win at home against a weak Redskins team. So yeah, I have them getting snubbed, not making the playoffs. They're 10-6. But that'll be a 7 seed, which is no 7 seed in football. So they're not going to make the playoffs this year. But hopefully that'll give them fuel for next year. Moving on to the Denver Broncos. I do not have them making the playoffs. I have them getting number 4 in the division, aka last. I do have them losing to the Bills here up in the next week. I have them beating the Chargers just because they're at home. You know, division games can go anyway, but I have them winning this one. Next off, we have the Texans here. I have the Texans winning. I also have the Chiefs winning. I have them beating the Lions, though. Might be a bit of a surprise, but Stafford just depends when he comes back, honestly. I can't predict this far, like, in the future as far as injuries go. And then I have them winning against the Raiders, but that's not even close to enough to get them in the playoffs. Finish off the season 6-10. Trying to make this game trying to make this not as long as, like, ever. But moving on to the Detroit Lions here. I have the Lions winning their next 2 games. Going to give Driscoll a little bit of momentum because, you know, weak teams, the Redskins, the Bears. Lions are home for this one. Why pick them there? Redskins, just a bad team. Vikings, I have them losing. Like I said, Vikings, like, never lose at their home stadium. And I don't think they will against the Lions here. Most likely with Driscoll still at the helm. I have the Lions beating the Buccaneers, though. Should be a close game. Depends if Winston shows up. But I have them losing their last 2 in Denver and home against the Green Bay Packers. Just it depends. If Green Bay's already locked up like a 1 seed or whatever they have, if they can go up or down, depends if they have their starters out. Just depends. But I have them finishing 3rd in the division at 6-9-1, same record the Packers had last year. Yeah, I don't know about what's going on there in Detroit. A lot of fed-up fans. Can say that myself as being in Michigan, but thankfully not rooting for the Lions. But we have the team I do root for next, the Green Bay Packers. Okay. Guys, you have to listen to me before I show you what the heck I have going on here. So, I know you all are going to bully me in the comment section, but I have them winning out 6-0. Okay. I know this might not be logical. If I'm from a neutral perspective here, I would probably have them losing a game or so. So, let's see. If they lose a game, guess what? It's most likely going to be against the Niners in Santa Clara, or in Minnesota against the Vikings. So, if they lose to the 49ers, guess what? They still get the number 1 seed. But I don't have them losing 2, and I don't think anyone else should either. If they lose against the Vikings, they still have the number 1 seed. It's like it doesn't matter, and the Vikings would still have a number 6 seed. So, literally, this doesn't matter. Even if they lose a game, one of these games, or if they win all of them, with all the things that I picked, it doesn't matter. They can lose a game, still have the tiebreaker over my number 2 seed, which I have as the Saints. They are going 13-3. I have them going. So it doesn't really matter. You can mark them up for a loss wherever. I'm gonna have them going 6-0 just because I have faith in my team. But you could mark them up for a loss. Still wouldn't matter. I still have them at the 1 seed. But yeah, I have them making obviously the playoffs as the 1 seed, and yeah, number 1 team in the division too. You know, you can call me biased, that's fine, but I think it's actually reasonable, unlike some people I've seen who are fans of teams. Next, we have the Houston Texans, who are making a huge bounce back after getting blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. I have them going 5-1 the rest of the season, and ending off the season at 11-5, and hosting a wild card at, let me look this, I wrote it down here, at the number 3 seed. So they'll host a wild card game versus another team. I'll stay here in a little bit. I don't want to spoil it. But I have them beating the Colts, losing to the Patriots though, and then having some pretty easy games to end it off against mediocre teams in the Broncos, Titans, Bucks, and Titans again. So, I mean, the divisional games could go either way. So, honestly, I mean, you could mark them up for 1 or none. Just depends on what y'all want to do. But that's what I have there. I think they're just the better team. Next, moving on here to the Indianapolis Colts. I do not have them making the playoffs. They've just been too hard to predict this season. And honestly, I have them losing to the Texans just because they're away. I have them beating the Titans, though. Next, I have them losing at Buccaneers. That could go either way. Bucks are hard to predict as well. 2 hard to predict teams are super difficult to predict against each other. Have them losing at Saints. I think that's pretty easy. Have them beating the Panthers, though. That could go either way. Just at the fact that they're home, and then they're away against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the Jags have been super bad. I can't pick them winning a game. You know what I'm saying? Next off here, though, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. With the Jaguars here, I don't have them making the playoffs. Actually, I have them going 0-6 throughout the stretch. Honestly, they've just been bad. They've been terrible. They can't get anything going. They had Minshew for a little bit. Maybe gave him a little bit of life. Now he died off. They're trying to get Nick Foles at the helm now. He got smoked by the Colts. It's like things are not going good there in Jacksonville for one of my like, if I had to pick like a team that I like that isn't the Packers, you know, maybe I'd pick the Jags, but have them going 0-6 logistically. Yeah, losing at the Titans, home against the Bucks. That one could go either way as well. Like I said, Bucks are just so hard to predict. Winning against or losing against the Chargers, losing at Raiders, at Falcons, and Week 17 against the Colts when it doesn't even matter. So that's how I have that going. Next off, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them hosting a wild card. Might sound crazy to a lot of you, but I have them going 5-1 throughout the rest of the season. I have them winning against the Chargers tonight. Yeah, tonight, Monday night. So I have them winning there. I also have them winning against the Raiders at home, but their one loss, I do have them losing in Foxborough against the Patriots. Super hard to win there. Have them winning against the Broncos, Bears, and Chargers. Bunch of mediocre teams. And getting one in the division and being the number 4 team. So they're going to host a number 5 team, which I'll say here soon. After I'm done with all this, I'll let you know and who I think I might have going in the playoffs here. So moving on to the next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. I do not have them making the playoffs, I don't think. Nope. I have them going 6-10 and going 2-4 throughout their last 6 games. So I have them losing to the Chiefs tonight. I have them losing at Broncos. If it would have been versus Broncos, I would have had them winning, but they're away, so I don't have them winning. I have them winning against the Jags and the Vikings. The Vikings, this is one of my big upsets here. I know. Call me a biased Packer fan, as I say. But you remember when the Packers had to travel all the way down to I almost called it San Diego, L.A. You remember when the Packers had to travel all the way to L.A.? They're like, this Chargers team is absolutely dookie. They went out clubbing, hanging with their buds and all that good stuff, and then they just get demolished. That's what I think the Vikings will do. Maybe they'll learn off the Packers. Who knows? But if they don't, I have them getting upsetted there. And then I have them losing to the Raiders and the Chiefs to end off the season. So I have them going 6-10. L's in the chat for them. Next game, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I do not have them making the playoffs at 9-7. Winning record, just too competitive of an NFC. Have them losing to the Ravens for obvious reasons, even though they're home. I have them beating the Cardinals. I have them upsetting the Seahawks. They played them really good when they were in Seattle, and now that they're home, I think they might be able to have the advantage there. I have them losing at the Cowboys, have them losing at the 49ers, and I have them winning their last game against the Cardinals, but it doesn't matter because they lose. They don't make the playoffs anyways. So moving on here to the Miami Dolphins. I have them making the playoffs. Just kidding. I don't freaking have them making the playoffs. Actually, I don't have them doing that too bad, though. 2-4 down the stretch. They end the season 4-12. Not too bad. Have them losing their next 3 games at Browns, versus Eagles, at Jets. They could beat the Jets, but you could coin flip, like I said, but they have home field advantage. Always give the coin flip to the home team. But I do have them going on another 2-game win streak here at Giants and then home versus the Bengals, but then getting smoked Week 17 by the Patriots. Yeah, 4th in their division, 4-12, getting one of them top seeds, tanking for Tua, even though he's probably not going to go that high. Maybe another year in college for him, I'd say. So moving on here to the Minnesota Vikings. I have them making the playoffs. Yeah, so you can't call me a biased Packers fan on that. There you go, Vikings fans. I got y'all in the playoffs, boys. So I have y'all losing this week to the Seahawks, though. You know, it's always hard to play in Seattle. If you were home, I would have easily had y'all in a heartbeat winning, but you're not home. So I don't have y'all winning there, but I do have y'all beating the Lions pretty easily. Like I said, this was an upset at the Chargers. If it was home against the Chargers, like if you were home against the Vikings and Seahawks, I'd have you winning both of those games. But it's just two different, super unique places to play that you might not be prepared for, you know, or prepared enough. Even if you try and prepare, you don't know till you get there, you know. And then I do have the Packers winning. Like I said, you can call me a biased Packers fan, but I just think the Packers are the better team, more versatile. Right now, the Vikings aren't that healthy. Maybe get more healthy by then. Like I said, hard to predict 5 games into the future, but it's just from what I'm going by right now. You know, because I'm not gonna be like, oh, what if blank and blank freaking breaks his leg in half. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that because it's not most likely gonna happen. So, and then I do have them winning in the last week to barely make the playoffs. Barely make it over the Cowboys. That win on Sunday night was huge now for the Vikings in my prediction. I have them barely making the 6th seed at 10-6 over the 10-6 Cowboys. Very crucial win there against them on that Sunday night game. So, I have them barely making the playoffs. There you go, Vikings fans. Can't call me biased now. I mean, you still can, but, you know. And then I have the New England Patriots, my 1 seed in the AFC. You can, like, the Ravens are the better team, but there's no team. Like, right now, the Patriots have a better record, and they're not going to lose to any of these teams down the stretch. They have the Cowboys at home. Maybe if it was on the road, maybe a little bit of a struggle. On the road against the Texans, they might have a chance to lose that one, but I just believe in Bill Belichick to be more prepared after the Texans just got absolutely crushed by the Ravens. Next off, I have the Patriots beating the Chiefs at home, beating the Bengals easily, beating the Bills easily, and beating the Dolphins easily. There's just no teams that I think they can lose to. So because of that, I have them at the 1 seed, but I don't think they're better than the 2 seed, you know. Just one of those years where it's just like the lower seed is actually the better team. So, if this can scroll down here a little bit, I'd appreciate that. New Orleans Saints, I have them getting the number 2 seed and a bye week here within the NFC, right behind the Green Bay Packers. I have them going 5-1 down the stretch. I have them beating the Panthers here at home. I have confidence in them. I have them losing at the Falcons, though, because, I mean, I'm guessing y'all saw that game. Saints got demolished at home by the Falcons. Falcons have been freaking, like, godly, dude. Like, okay, so if the Falcons wouldn't have done so well against the Carolina Panthers this week, I would have just thought it was a fluke. But the Falcons dominated 29-3 against the Panthers. So I think that the Saints won't be able to prepare for them, and the Falcons will sneak away another win to end the Saints' hope at a number 1 seed. But I have them coming back the week after losing to the Falcons, beating the 49ers, which is might be a surprise to a lot of you. And then, I mean, like I said, I just have them because they're at home that game. Then I have them beating the Colts, Titans, and Panthers. A lot of mediocre teams there that are very inconsistent. They could get upset by one of them, but I'm just going by logistics here. Next, we have the Giants not making the playoffs. Have them going 0-6 down the stretch. A lot of hard teams compared to how good they are. They have to travel to Chicago. I don't have them winning. They have a home game, but it's against the Packers. Packers are fighting for a 1 seed. It's a must-win game for the Packers, so they're going to bring it all out on the Giants. Yeah, easy. Should be for the Packers. Next, I have them at Eagles, away game against a way better divisional team. Dolphins, I have the upset here. Could go either way, I guess. I guess Giants are home, so maybe you'll pick them, but I have them losing there. At the Redskins, another coin toss. I just have them losing there. I think Redskins might be a little bit better. Next, we have the Eagles, though. Have them losing again. Just all around better teams they play. So I have them going 2-14 and getting the 3 seed in the division, just behind the Redskins. Next here, though, we have the New York Jets. Also, don't have them making the playoffs. Have them going a nice 5-11. Have them going 2-4 down the stretch. Losing to the Raiders. I have them going on a 2-game win streak at Bengals, home against Dolphins. Think 2 very easy games to win, I would say, even with a bad team like the Jets. And then I have them at Ravens. Easy loss. Steelers and Bills, which should be pretty easy games to predict as losses for the Jets. Next here, though, we have the Oakland Raiders. I do have them making a wild card here at 10-6. They are the number 6 seed in the AFC. GG's for them. Starting off not too good after getting beat by the Packers. Looks like their chances were slim, but I do have them making the playoffs here, just squeaking it in. I have them beating the Jets. Pretty easy game. This one could go either way. Like I said, Chiefs are just at home though, so I think I have them over the Raiders. Then they go on a nice 3-game win streak. Home against Titans, home against Jaguars, and at Chargers, which could go either way again. And since it's so far in the future, hard to predict, so don't count me on that. But as of what both teams look like right now, I think you got to predict the Raiders to win it. Also, I have them ending their season off actually on a loss, which may be surprising because the Raiders would have so much to play for at this point. Because they could. Actually, no, they couldn't because, yeah, they just get swept by the Chiefs. So, yeah, it doesn't even matter. This game pretty much doesn't matter. So, I guess they would be resting up then, I suppose. So, I have them losing against the Broncos. Second seed in the AFC. Or sixth seed in the AFC and second in their division. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. And then, moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, I have them hosting a wild card game. Wait, what? Yeah, hosting a wild card game. Okay, I was like, what? But yeah, it was the Cowboys that didn't make it. So, I have them losing their next game against the Seahawks, then going on a 5-game win streak to end it off. Really easy schedule. Super easy. Probably one of the easiest last 5 games of the season. At Dolphins, home against Giants, at Redskins, home against Cowboys, and at Giants. Super easy besides the Cowboys game. That one will be difficult, but they're going to be fighting for their lives, same as the Cowboys. That one should be a really good game to watch since the division will easily come down to that. But I think home field advantage has a big play in it, and the Eagles are home, so I have them winning. Moving on here, though, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them making the wild card at the number 5 seed. I have them winning 5 games in a row at Bengals. I have them winning pretty easy versus Browns at home. Browns are going to get a lot of hate. I think there will be a lot of fans in support of the Steelers after what happened like a week ago. Not even a week ago at this point that I'm recording it. And then they're at Cardinals. Bills at Jets should be easy wins for those, and then at Ravens, I think they'll get smoked. But having them squeaking out a wild card at the 5 seed, very vital. Might be able to make a deep run with Rudolph. Not likely, but possible definitely. Then the San Francisco's probably one of the more surprising. Y'all might be, Ben, how are they hosting a wild card even though they're the best team in the league right now? I mean, actually, they might be the 3rd best team behind the Patriots and Ravens, arguably. But from here on out, I have them going on an 0-3 run. The 49ers have looked so shaky over the last 3 weeks. Won by 3 points to the Cardinals. Lose to the Seahawks. Granted, it was a really close game. And then starting to get blown out by the Cardinals 16-0. Barely making a comeback. So, I don't know. Another team that seems to be dropping a lot. But I do have them losing to the Packers. Like I said, they could pull it off. They could pull off a win to the Packers. Just a coin toss pretty much. I don't have them winning to the Ravens, though. They have to travel to Baltimore. They're not going to win that. They're not better than the Ravens. Then they have to travel to New Orleans after getting whipped by the Ravens. It's not going to be a good 3-game stretch for Niners fans here. So they're going to go on an 0-3 streak, but then they're going to have some easy teams. Falcons, I don't think the Falcons are going to be able to upset them. Then they got Rams at home, and then the Seahawks, 49ers will get their revenge in my opinion. And then moving on here, oh yeah, also they do have what seed do I have them at? The 3rd seed. So they have the 3rd seed with this record and would be playing the Minnesota Vikings if this is what happens exactly. Like I said, I'm not going to predict every single game correct, but it's just, in my opinion, what might happen. Then I have the Seattle Seahawks coming away with the wild card spot. I have them going 4-2 with their last 6 games of the season. I have them beating the Eagles here this week. Think they're the better team. Then the Vikings, that one should be a really good game. I have them just because of their home field advantage. And then I have them losing at Rams. Rams getting their revenge for barely losing in Seattle. That one should be a good game as well. They have a lot of good games coming up. Panthers too. They have to travel across the country, so that one should be a good game. To Carolina, that one should be a good game as well. Cardinals have been putting up a fight against good teams, so that one should be good as well. And then another good game against the 49ers. Should be a lot of freaking good games. Definitely tune in on that. Could go either way. They could go 6-0, could go 0-6. You know, it just depends on how Pete Carroll handles these final 6 games. You know, and their team. So moving on here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't have them making the playoffs. Only have a couple more teams here to predict, though, guys. So, you know, stay tuned if you're still here. Comment down below your favorite football team, followed by, like, a random letter if you made it this far, just to know who's loyal you feel. But for the Buccaneers, have them losing at the Falcons. They've been really surprising. Buccaneers have been surprising, too, but just coming on the short end of the stick, you know, against good teams, like barely falling short. I do have them going on a 2-game win streak at Jaguars versus Colts, but then finally I have them losing 3 games in a row to end off the season at Lions. Lions, they do good. They both make games close, so that one should be a good one to watch. Texans, Falcons, yeah, I have them losing the final 2 of those too. So I have them ending at 5-11. Last seed in their division. Like I said, guys, it's always down here, so look down there to see how the division shapes up after all these games I predict. And then second to last team to predict, the Tennessee freaking Titans. I have them out of the playoffs. I almost said it as a wild card, but no, I don't. I have them at, what do I have them at? 6-10. So I have them at 6-10 here. I have them winning their next game against the Jaguars, and then going 0-5. They have to travel to Indianapolis. Game could go either way. Colts are very shaky, so pick what you choose. At Raiders, feel like they're the better team. Texans, Saints, better teams, and then have to travel to Dallas, or not Dallas, but they have to travel to Texas, Houston, Texas, again, to play the Texans in like 2-week span. So I feel like they're not going to be able to make it. They're going to finish off the season 6-10, and there's going to be trouble in Tennessee. Finally, with the Washington Redskins, I know, a bad team to end off with. Obviously, I don't have them making the playoffs. Losing last 5 of 6 games. I have them losing to the Lions, the Panthers, the Packers, the Eagles. A lot of good teams. Cowboys. The game I think they could pull off, though, is the Giants. It'll be a close game. Redskins are home, though, so I'll give them that. But with this all being said, I have them at last seed in their division, 2-14. I wrote all this stuff down on a piece of paper. Probably should have put this on my PC, but you guys, will you be able to see that? Maybe. I don't know. If you can see it, pause it real quick to see how the playoffs are looking out. But I'll read this off here real quick. We have the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Packers, at 14-2. The number 2 seed, the Saints, at 13-3. The number 3 seed, and will host a wild card game in the 49ers at 12-4. They'll be hosting the number 6 seed, Minnesota Vikings, at 10-6. And then the number 4 Eagles at 10-6 will be hosting the Seattle Seahawks at 12-4. And then I did make an honorable mention over here, as you can see. I said that the Cowboys were a snub because they were 10-6 and did not make the playoffs, even though they had the same record as the Eagles, just because they had the tiebreaker in divisional play. So that's what I have to say about the NFC. I would predict, it's hard to predict, man. Who would win, the 49ers or the Vikings? Comment down below. That'd be a really good game. Might have to give it to the Niners just because they're at home. If that was the Vikings at home, I would easily pick them. You know, shows that I'm not that biased. But then in the AFC, here we have the Patriots as the number 1 seed at 15-1 and stood alone as the best record in the NFL, followed by the number 2 seed Ravens at 14-2, followed by the number 3 Texans 11-5, hosting the number 6 seed Raiders at 10-6. That one should be a good game as well. Who would win that? Comment down below as well. I think the Texans might have an edge as well. And then we have the number 4 seed at the Chiefs at 11-5, playing against the number 5 seed in the Steelers at 10-6. I don't think Mason Rudolph is really playoff ready. Maybe their defense is, but I think that the Chiefs, their defense is good enough to hold Mason Rudolph, and their offense is good enough to get through the Steelers. So I think that's the only game I feel confident choosing for right now. Comment down below who y'all think you would have winning based off this playoff schema right here, or if you have a team that I don't even have in the playoffs winning the Super Bowl. Let me know, guys. But this has been like a 40-minute video almost. God dang, this is gonna take forever to upload. If you made it this far, comment down below. I don't even know. Noti gang, why not? But I appreciate y'all tuning in this video. Let me know if you have any differences in mind, who y'all have making it to the Super Bowl, what your playoff bracket looks like. Comment all that down below. But I appreciate you guys watching till the end of this video. Sorry if I did any of your teams dirty, but this has been BenBomb12. Have a good rest of your day or night, boys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.